Hello from Iceland. And flaky. We are so excited to be here. We got here around 7 a.m. yesterday, and actually as the plane was coming into the airport, I saw the active volcano outside the window, which was very interesting. But we pretty much spent all day yesterday just walking around Reykjavik. We tried a bunch of different foods like fish and chips and rye bread ice cream. We took a couple hour long nap so that we could feel rested and rejuvenated for the rest of the day. We walked down in the harbor and along the seafront. So I'll insert some footage of yesterday's little adventure here. We took a direct overnight flight on Icelandic Air from Raleigh International Airport to Keflavik. The flight was only 6.5 hours, and we arrived to Iceland around 6:45 a.m., which I truly prefer because you're able to maximize your time on that first day. After securing our rental car, we made our way into Reykjavik, our first stop on our Iceland road trip itinerary, and went to Sandholt Bakery for coffees, pastries, and breakfast. This family-based bakery was established in 1920 and has seen 4 generations of artisan bakers. Their skill set and passion for what they do is evident in the loaves of sourdough that line the back shelves, the extensive pastry selection, and not to mention the queue of people waiting in line to be seated to have a wonderful, wholesome breakfast. You can dine in or get your pastries and coffee to go, but we needed to wake up a little bit, so we decided to dine in and get our bearings before checking into our accommodation in Reykjavik and exploring more of the city. I want to show you guys a quick room tour before we bring all of our stuff in. Do not mind my appearance. It's been raining all day long and we haven't had time to shower since getting off the plane, but I wanted to show you the place we're staying at in Reykjavik. So you come up these very steep stairs to this main like foyer area. We have a floor length mirror, and then directly to the right we have our shared bathroom, which has our vanity, which is really cute. I like the charm and the characteristic, like the details. We have the wood panelings up here. I just think it's cute and cozy. And then directly across from the bathroom is Alex and I's bedroom. We've got a nice comfy bed, a place to hang our clothes, even though we're gonna only be here for one night. It'll be nice to just lay things out for tomorrow so that we're ready. And then when you come out here, we have the kitchen area over here. Let me turn the light on. Yeah, that helps a little bit. I love the red trim on the windows. I think that's really cute. We have a sink, a little bit of a view of some construction, but also the city. We have a table, which we've just kind of thrown our stuff on, and then a fridge and a prep station. And then over here, we have a seating area, which I think is so cute. And I love the exposed brick. Like, that's just very charming and characteristic, and I love that so much. And we actually have a balcony, which is awesome. I'm so excited about that. I also love all the black buildings with the white trim. I just think that's so beautiful. And then this is like one of the main streets here. We actually had breakfast at Sandholt Bakery, which was just right down the road. It's like a 1-minute walk. So definitely love this little balcony. I think that's so cute. I'm gonna have to get a picture out there for sure. And then the only other thing we have is my brother's room where he will be staying. So he's got a single bed, a place to hang his clothes, and he has another nice little view.
It's cold, cold.
Reykjavik is an extremely walkable city, and although it is relatively small, there are a variety of things to do and incredible sights to see. I would recommend spending some time down near the waterfront because the view of the bay and the mountains in the background is absolutely breathtaking no matter what weather you're experiencing. There's also a very nice walking and biking path that stretches for a very long portion alongside the bay, and locals and tourists alike spend time down near the water, walking with family and friends, admiring the views, or taking a nice bike or scooter ride. We spent time at the waterfront and made our way over to the Old City Harbor looking for the iconic fish and chips. We found a street food hall that was right on the harbor, and it had a variety of different food options, but it did also have the fish and chips that we were looking for. So we ordered our fish and chips and the iconic appleton for our beverage and had a seat at one of their picnic style tables inside the food hall.
So we came to a food hall and we secured the fish and chips. So we're getting ready to try it out. We got ketchup because I eat everything with ketchup. And then we also got this appleton, which is their version of a soda. So we're gonna try this too.
I don't know what this sauce is. Looks like maybe tartar sauce. Very much.
I'm gonna go ahead and try the appleton. It tastes like an orange Fanta. It's actually really, really good. It's less sugary, I feel like. Okay, next I'm gonna try the fish and chips. I do not usually eat fish, so I'm curious to see if I'm going to actually like this. I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone. God, that is really good. I really love how crunchy the fish and chips are. That's probably my favorite part, is how crispy and crunchy. Can I see yours? If you look at it up close, it's just fried to absolute perfection, and the inside is just so tender and flaky. It's very good. Buttery, flaky crust. Today we have a long day ahead of us. I've got my earmuffs ready to go. We're getting ready to head out, but we are going to go get some pastries and coffee for the road. We have about 3 hours of a drive to get to where we're going, but we're of course going to make stops all along the way. One thing that we have learned so far with just being here for 24 hours is that the weather is truly unpredictable. One minute it could be raining and the next minute it could be very sunny. I'm pretty sure, like this morning we woke up and it was very sunny, and then it started raining, and then I'm pretty sure it started snowing. So the weather is completely unpredictable. I've got lots of layers on, but I'm super excited to spend the rest of the week here in Iceland, take you guys along with us. We've got a lot of fun things planned. So let's go get some coffee, some pastries, and hit the road.
Western Iceland boasts some of the most breathtaking landscapes in the country. Only a 2-hour drive from Reykjavik on the Snæfellsnes Peninsula, you will find yourself surrounded by the most diverse and enchanting landscapes the country has to offer. We stopped multiple times on the drive from Reykjavik to take in the vast beauty of this area, and to our surprise, we were greeted with a snowstorm along the way. One thing we learned rather quickly is that the weather is unpredictable in Iceland and varies drastically with each location. One of our favorite places that we visited on the peninsula was Arnarstapi. We spent quite a bit of time here hiking along the coastline to admire the rugged cliffs and picturesque views of the surrounding ocean. The highlight of our hike was the iconic stone bridge. The Arnarstapi stone bridge is a natural rock formation formed by basalt volcanic rock forming an arch over the sea. It was sculpted by the relentless forces of wind and water over thousands of years. Walking across the bridge offers a memorable encounter with Iceland's raw and majestic natural beauty, as long as you're not fearful of heights, of course. After spending time in Arnarstapi, we made the drive over to Kirkjufell to see the most photographed mountain in Iceland and the famous Kirkjufell Foss waterfall. The waterfall was only a short walk from the parking area, although it was a little tricky to access with all of the ice on the pathways. We were not expecting to see these landscapes completely covered in a thick blanket of snow. However, it made the whole experience feel even more magical.
It's the next day. Yesterday was so much fun. We drove quite a bit to get to the Snæfellsnes Peninsula, and we spent a lot of time in the national park. We had lunch there as well, and the town was called Arnarstapi, so we spent a lot of time there, and then we made another drive to Kirkjufell, which is the mountain on the other side of the peninsula, and then we spent some time on Kirkjufell Foss, which is the waterfall. Foss in Iceland means
waterfall. So anytime you see FOSS at the end of a word, it's typically a waterfall. So we had a really good time. It was very steep to get down the hill to the waterfall because there was so much snow that I finally just gave up, sat down and slid all the way down because I was just tripping and falling all the time. So it was really fun. We made the best of our day. It was very rainy, snowy, it rained ice, and we've just realized that the weather here is completely unpredictable. One minute you may see like a little sliver of sun, and then you'll drive a little way and you'll start raining, and then you'll drive a little further and you may get ice, and then you drive a little further and it's a complete snowstorm. I feel like at one point we were driving and the mountains were just normal brown, green mountains, and then within like 10 minutes it was snow covered. It was absolutely beautiful. We had a really good time. The weather is absolutely not what we were expecting. I think I was expecting blue skies and it just to be super cold with maybe a chance of rain, but so far we have seen like zero sunshine, which is okay. We've been making the best with what we've been given, but you cannot control Mother Nature. Today we are back in Reykjavik because we were supposed to go spend pretty much the entire day at the Blue Lagoon. And right now the volcano is erupting again. So the Blue Lagoon has been closed down. We lost our reservation. We've tried to rebook for Thursday just in case there's a small chance that it opens, but it's looking like we are not gonna get to go to the Blue Lagoon this trip. I'm absolutely devastated. But again, you cannot control Mother Nature. So we're just trying to make the best out of a sad situation. And yeah, spend the day in Reykjavik. We'll see what we can get up to today. As always, fuel was our #1 priority, so we made our way to Baka for breakfast. I highly recommend this restaurant because it provides a warm and cozy atmosphere, and the food was very delicious. I got the French toast, and when I tell you that this was the best French toast I've ever had in my life, it is not an exaggeration. They also had a variety of fresh pastries like ham and cheese or chocolate croissants. They also had cinnamon buns that you could choose from. I took some time to write postcards to our loved ones, a little tradition that I do on every single trip, and we just enjoyed the music, the inviting atmosphere, and our delicious breakfast. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear me because of the wind, but we just had like breakfast lunch at Baka, and it was so good. It was honestly the best French toast I've ever had. But while we were in there, they were playing George Strait, Willie Nelson, Kenny Rogers, The Chicks, Dolly Parton, and it was such a funny experience because we are from the land of country music. And it's just so weird to be in Reykjavik, Iceland, listening to country music. It was so fun. I was singing every single song, eating my French toast. Loved it. We're gonna walk around town. I definitely wanna try to get a hot dog today, and we are going back to Bread & Co. because we had that the other day and it was the best cinnamon roll I've ever had in my life. So yeah, I think that's what we're gonna get up to today. The rest of the day was spent wandering the streets and popping into the local shops. We found the cutest little Christmas shop on one of the main streets, and of course we had to stop in and pick out our Iceland Christmas ornament for our travel tree. Again, another tradition that we always do when we travel to new places, adding an ornament to our tree. But later on that day, we stopped into Valdis for some rye bread ice cream. And although it was 20 degrees Fahrenheit outside, the ice cream was rather refreshing and it did not melt, which was definitely a plus. After the ice cream, we went back to Bread & Co. for a cinnamon roll. And again, when I tell you that this is the best cinnamon roll I've ever had in my entire life, I am not joking. I love cinnamon rolls and I'm still dreaming of this specific cinnamon roll to this day. It was so good, so moist, and just, I mean, absolutely delicious. You have to go to Bread & Co. for nothing more than just their cinnamon roll. And then we took our cinnamon rolls over to Tea and Cafe for some Swiss hot chocolate to warm up after the ice cream. For dinner, we went back down to the harbor, but this time for Neapolitan-style pizza at Flatey Pizza. Once again, the atmosphere was very warm and inviting, and their pizza was made fresh with high-quality ingredients and had a relatively short cook time. The staff was very friendly, the environment was very nice and enjoyable, and I definitely felt like it was an authentic Neapolitan-style form of pizza. We, of course, got the margarita pizzas, and they were fantastic. One of the best decisions we made of this trip was renting scooters to ride around the city. I truly feel like we saw every corner of Reykjavik, and we spent over an hour exploring the city on these scooters, and once it was said and done, we all agreed that this was truly a highlight of our trip.
We found our post box, so we are getting ready to send our postcards to our friends and family. Here they go. It is day 4 on our trip here in Iceland, and today we are doing the Golden Circle. We're driving ourselves all around the Golden Circle. We are currently at Fontana because we're doing a rye bread baking experience, and then later on we're going to eat at the famous tomato house, and then we're going to try to find a hot spring before we leave the Golden Circle today. There's so many different sites to stop off and see, so I'm excited to take you guys along for the ride. Yesterday was so much fun. We had an unexpected day in Reykjavik, and we ended up renting scooters. We rode those scooters for over an hour. It was so much fun. We tried more food. We ate at some amazing restaurants. We shopped for some souvenirs and some keepsakes, and overall had a really, really good day. But today we're going to do this rye bread baking experience, and we're going to take you guys along for the ride. So let's do the Golden Circle.
The geothermal bakery tour takes about 30 minutes and is extremely fascinating because they combine traditional baking techniques with the use of geothermal heat. They bake the rye bread by digging a hole into the hot, black sand near the lake, and they leave it there for 24 hours. The baking process is absolutely fascinating, and it is truly incredible that this style of baking is even a possibility. The next day, you can dig up the previous creation and have a delicious, perfectly cooked loaf of rye bread served with Icelandic butter. This is a very unique experience and one you truly do not want to miss while on the Golden Circle. But at Fontana, you will also find geothermal hot springs, steam rooms, and a pool, so you could definitely spend a few hours here soaking in the natural pools, listening to the bubbling hot springs, or even taking a refreshing dip into the lake. Our next stop was Great Geyser, which has been active for over 10,000 years and erupts every 5 to 10 minutes. I will be 100% honest and say that the smell of this area is something that you have to prepare yourself for because it does smell strongly of sulfur, but I highly recommend stopping as it is quite the sight to see. There's a relatively large parking lot and a guest center with food and restrooms, so if you need a little break from the drive, this would be the perfect place to stop.
Oh my God.
It was time for a lunch break, so we made our way over to our reservation at one of the most iconic and unique dining experiences in the world, the FRIÐHEIMAR tomato greenhouse. They grow their lush tomatoes inside of the greenhouse year-round, and it is truly a fascinating and very interesting example of innovative agriculture in a challenging environment. Our server did a wonderful job explaining the history and the science behind the farm and told us that the owners import bees and flies, good flies, from the Netherlands to act as a natural pollinator for the plants and also for natural pest control. They also use green energy and pure Icelandic water to grow their tasty and healthful tomatoes. Everything on the menu has tomatoes in it, from the tomato soup to the delicious ravioli and even the famous green tomato apple pie for dessert. They also have a little tomato shop where you can purchase products made from the tomatoes of their greenhouse, so check that out before you leave. But this was one of the best experiences I have ever had while traveling, and I highly recommend adding this to your Iceland adventure. After lunch, we drove over to a hot spring that made me feel like I was living inside a fairy tale. There are 3 sections that you can enjoy and the cutest little hut that you can change inside of before and after getting in the water. This area was once a hidden gem, but it is getting more popular with time, so I recommend getting there early to avoid the crowds. Overall, it was so quaint and dreamy and enchanting and just the perfect ending to the day. The next day, we spent several hours at the Sky Lagoon in Reykjavik. The lagoon was extremely warm and such a nice break from the cold, windy weather that we had been experiencing. We really enjoyed our time here and the 7-step ritual, which included the lagoon, cold plunge, sauna, cold mist, body scrub, and steam room. They had a swim up bar in the lagoon so that you could enjoy refreshments while relaxing, and it was so nice. We definitely treated ourselves to a couple of refreshments. And when we left the lagoon, we felt so relaxed and refreshed and rejuvenated. This was honestly a 10 out of 10 experience. And if you do decide to go to the Sky Lagoon, I definitely recommend the 7-step ritual. It is an extra cost, but it is 100% worth it. For the Golden Circle and the Sky Lagoon, we based ourselves in Keflavik near the airport. So after leaving the Sky Lagoon, we made the road trip down to Vik, which would be the last place that we would be staying on this trip. On our way to Vik, we stopped at 2 waterfalls, ICELAND and Skogafoss. ICELAND was truly an experience because you can actually walk behind the waterfall and see it from a whole new perspective, which I highly recommend. We got completely drenched from head to toe, but honestly, the views were so worth it, and we were so glad that we decided to walk behind. Skogafoss is also really beautiful and makes you feel so small when you're standing up right beside of it. And of course, we had to drink some fresh glacial water before we left the country, so we decided to drink some water here at Skogafoss.
Before the boys start to carry in our luggage, I have to show you the room that we're staying in Vik. It's called Black Beach Suites, and it is by far the nicest place we've stayed so far. I absolutely love it. So let me show you or look around and give you a little room tour. So this is the door that you enter, and immediately we have like this whole room to kind of take off our wet clothes, our shoes, and everything so that we don't get our room dirty. Over here we have closets for storage, extra towels, extra pillows. And then in this one, we have a little bit more of hanging space so that we can hang our coats and put our shoes. And then we also have a little luggage rack. And here is the bathroom, which is super nice. We have a nice big vanity, a nice sink, mirror with the light around it. It's gonna be perfect for getting ready, even though the weather is not really awesome for getting ready anyways, but this is so beautiful and nice. We have a really big walk-in shower with a rain shower head, which is gonna be amazing. Some towel racks in there. And then of course, when you walk through here, it's the living room. So we've got my bed and Alex's bed. And then Tyler is actually going to be sleeping on a pull-out sofa bed. We have a table, a little kitchenette area, which is so nice with a little toaster or microwave. And this is probably, if I were to guess, yeah, this is a fridge. Have a little stove top, a place to make some coffee, a little Nespresso machine. We have a sink, and then this is our view, which it's dark, so I'll have to give you another view tomorrow. But it's absolutely beautiful. We're right here on the Black Beach, so a nice little area if we wanted to sit outside. Hopefully we'll be able to view the northern lights from out here later. The KP is 4 tonight, so we are very hopeful. This is honestly a beautiful room. If you're coming to the Vik area, I highly recommend the Black Beach Suites. They have a bar up at the reception that's open till midnight, and then they open at 7 a.m., which is really nice. If you want to hang out in there, their little reception hall was really nice as far as like a big, nice seating area goes. But I'm very excited about this place. This place is really beautiful. It's been a couple days since I have checked in. We are on our last full day here in Iceland. We are staying in Vik at the Black Beach Suites, and it is so nice. We already love this little town so much. We had dinner at a pub last night, and it was really, really good. And then we are at School Beans Cafe to get some gourmet hot chocolate, coffee, and we're gonna get some bagels for breakfast here before we start our adventure through Vik and beyond. We're gonna do Black Sand Beach today. We're going to do Glacier Lagoon as well as Diamond Beach. We are hoping that we see a puffin, and we are also hoping to see diamonds on Diamond Beach. That's just like one of my bucket list things. I really want to see the diamonds on Diamond Beach, but this is not the best time of the year for that. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to see all that. We have a long day ahead. It's a 2.5 hour drive down to Glacier Lagoon and Diamond Beach, and then a 2.5 hour drive back. And then we have dinner plans for tonight before we have to rest up and head home tomorrow. So let's get going on this adventure. Our last full day in Iceland. It's going to be a good day. The weather is absolutely beautiful. The sun is peeking through. There's no rain, no snow, no ice so far, which we're absolutely loving because the last 6 days we have had nothing but. So we are going to head in, get some coffee, get some bagels, and have a great day.
Sculpin's Cafe is another highlight of the trip for me. This is just the cutest coffee cafe I have ever been to in my entire life, and I just enjoyed every single second of this experience. So basically, it is a coffee shop on a school bus, and you can go in and order a variety of different coffees. They have hot chocolate, and they also have some food items. We got bagels for our breakfast here. We just ordered a mocha latte, and then I also got another really good Swiss hot chocolate with all the works on top. And then we got a Nutella and cream cheese bagel, which was divine. We have recreated this since being home a couple of times. It was so delicious and so good. Like, the Icelandic cream cheese is honestly the best cream cheese I've ever had in my life. But it was such a unique experience, and I highly recommend trying to find this location if you are in Vic, supporting a local business, and really enjoying some really good quality coffee. We spent some time at Black Sand Beach near our resort before making the drive down to Diamond Beach and Glacier Lagoon. And it was honestly so incredible to see the black sand. Neither Alex or I have ever seen black sand before, and the contrast of the black sand with the mountains and the water was absolutely beautiful and just a really unique sight to see. The drive down to Diamond Beach and Glacier Lagoon was also very enjoyable. Similar to the West Coast drive, it offered a lot of different landscapes, waterfalls on the side of the road, and we also got to see the largest glacier in all of Iceland as we were driving through, making our way down to the Glacier Lagoon. Diamond Beach is a place that has been on the top of my bucket list for as long as I can remember, and one of the things that I was looking most forward to when planning our trip to Iceland. The beach is made from black volcanic sand, and the diamonds are actually pieces of ice that break off of icebergs that wash up on the beach. So the icebergs actually break off from the glacier, which is right behind in Glacier Lagoon. They fall into the lagoon and make their way out to the sea, and then as they get tossed and tumbled in the water, and as it gets warmer in the country, the particles will break off, the chunks of ice will break off, and they will wash up onto the beach. And between the black sand and the transparent icebergs and the beautiful blue color of the icebergs as well, all of the little chunks of ice look like sparkly diamonds laying on the beach. And Mother Nature showed up and showed out for us. There was diamonds everywhere all over the beach, and it's one of the most awe-inspiring experiences of my entire life. I was just so thankful and so grateful that we were able to see the diamonds, because that's not always the case. Sometimes you will go and there will be no diamonds on the beach, and we hit it at the perfect time and felt truly grateful for this experience. Our last stop on our Iceland road trip was Glacier Lagoon, and we were able to see a lot of icebergs floating around in the lagoon as well. And we also saw some sea lions, which were out to play. They were so cute and just swimming around. It's really kind of insane how these animals are able to survive in such cold temperatures, but they were so cute. It was very, very windy over at the lagoon, so we did not spend too much time there. I think one of the reasons why the icebergs are not very common at this time of the year is because the ice has to be able to melt a little bit. So you can see that the lagoon is pretty frozen over, which is why we were very lucky to be able to see some of the ice chunks on Diamond Beach. But it was very, very beautiful. It was very neat to see the lagoon, and I just found it so fascinating to see all of the really pretty blue colors of the ice. I just thought that that was such a cool contrast to see. What an amazing, phenomenal, life-changing experience this has been. Our Iceland trip has come to an end. We are ending off the night, packing up our things, and going to be heading to the airport first thing tomorrow morning. So I'm going to go ahead and end off our travel vlog here. But I'm gonna cry just talking about this trip. This country is absolutely beautiful. If you are a nature lover, if you are inspired by nature or landscapes, then this definitely needs to be put on your bucket list if it is not already. The terrain here is completely different than anything I've ever seen in my entire life, and I hope that I was able to capture that through video. We saw ice, we saw snow, we saw rain, we saw sun, we saw glaciers, we saw volcano, we saw waterfalls and mountains and moss covered landscape. I don't even know what, I mean rocks, but it's like not normal ground that we're used to. And it's just been such a life-changing experience. I'm so grateful that we had the opportunity to come here, and I would 10 out of 10 recommend this country to absolutely anyone. The food is incredible. It's very easy to get around by car. The wind is probably been the most challenging thing for us as far as just seeing different sides and also driving on the roads. It's just been extremely windy, and we did have a lot of rain, snow, and ice the first 5 days that we were here. Today's been very beautiful. You can see the sun kind of hitting my face now, but we did have a lot of rain, snow, and ice. So my recommendation would just to be pack lots and lots of layers, thermal clothes, nice warm waterproof pants, jackets, and gloves, and you should be good. Oh, and shoes, and you should be good to go. But I'm just so grateful for this experience and for the time that we've spent here. This will be a trip that I remember for the rest of my life, and I've loved every single second of it. I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. I hope you enjoyed traveling along Iceland with us. It's been fun, and we are excited to get back home to our dogs and just to our routine. We are excited to get back home, but we've had the absolute best time. I appreciate you guys watching along if you made it to the very end. Hope you found it helpful, and yeah, we will see you in the next one.